Time now is 8:41. Let's go back to our lead story this morning, fracking. A vital contribution to our energy needs or an environmental nightmare? That is the question the government is due to answer today in a landmark ruling.
If it gives the green light to 2 sites in Lancashire, then it could pave the way for companies to extract shale gas from sites across England.
A little earlier we heard from Francis Egan from Quadrilla, the company which wants to do the drilling. This is what he said.
It is safe. I mean, it has been assessed extraordinarily thoroughly by the Environment Agency and by the Health and Safety Executive. And not only has it been assessed, but the monitoring that's going to go on around these sites is unprecedented. You know, we will monitor everything: traffic, noise, lighting, air quality, water quality, etc., etc. So they really can feel assured. I understand that it's like a construction site, but it's temporary, and when it goes away, you won't know anything is there.
Joining now in the studio, Bob Dennett, who's from Free Lancashire. Very good morning to you.
Morning.
Thank you very much for coming in for us this morning. So, you heard there the boss of Quadrilla saying, you and people like you, the people who are nearby, you should be reassured.
Reassured by his words?
Yes.
I don't think so. There are so many peer-reviewed academic papers in the ether now. There are something just short of 900 of them that say that fracking is dirty, is dangerous, it is a public health danger. In many, many criticisms of many of the negative impacts of fracking amongst those papers, we've had the earthquakes. We have significant evidence from the USA and other countries of contamination of the water, air pollution, endocrine neurological disorders, people suffering heart attacks, respiratory disorders, etc.
We spoke to Francis Egan. We spoke to Francis Egan and put these concerns to him, and he said that if there was an earthquake or a seismic tremor of up to 0.5 on the Richter scale, which he compared to the rattling of a cup, they would have to stop. He said, excuse me, he said that no public water supplies could be affected, and if any private water supplies were affected, they would tackle that as well. And he also said that the regulations in the UK are much more stringent than they are in the United States. So he was offering his reassurance when it comes to medical or safety concerns.
Can we take the regulations first? The government and the industry keep telling us that we have the most robust regulations in the world. Well, if that is the case, then I feel really, really sorry for the other countries in the world that are likely to have this imposed upon them. The government themselves have changed the regulations and in some cases significantly reduced the effectiveness of them in order to facilitate this industry. If I can move on to the seismic detectors that Francis Egan mentioned, I was watching that part of the programme. I attended one of the government's own consultations in Knutsford a little while ago, and one of their geologists from UCOG told me and a group of other people that the 0.5 is a precursor to a much larger event. So once the liquid is in that geological fault, there's not even backing off the pressure. They have no control over what the next event is going to be because they've got lubricated water in the geological fault.
What is it that would convince you? Because a lot of people say that there is a bigger picture here. One is the local issue, and a lot of people have a great deal of sympathy with the idea of trucks and the business. The companies say over a short period of time that becomes almost irrelevant. But people say there's a bigger issue here, which is where do we get our gas from? And this is the future. People there might be issues initially, but this is where it has to go. What do you say to that?
I was part of a group who gave evidence I didn't personally give the evidence myself, who gave evidence to the House of Lords Select Committee on Shale Gas in 2013, December the 13th. And following our session, there were some gas analysts also giving evidence, one of whom represented the offshore industry. And he said that, quite frankly, it is laughable, the idea that shale gas is going to save the UK economy is laughable. And he also went on to say that we have sufficient gas in the North Sea, the Orkneys, the Shetland Islands and the Irish Sea to last us for 60 to 80 years, and that they know where there is plenty more.
Time.
So I'm not suggesting for one moment that we should burn it, but that surely should be enough to transition onto renewable energy.
Can we just ask in a practical sense, it may well be that in the next less than an hour or so, they get the go-ahead for these two. We were told this morning by Quadrillo, if it all works well, it's 100 within Lancashire. That's the plan. What are the campaigners going to do about it? Are there going to be protests? Are they going to actually try and physically stop the work going ahead?
Well, we've tried, the movement, the whole anti-fracking movement throughout the UK, not just in the Fylde, have tried every legal and democratic process that's been available to us to stop this. Lancashire County Council on the 29th of June last year made a democratic decision to oppose and refuse these planning applications. But the government has seen fit to take that decision away, in other words, to ignore democracy.
So what will campaigners do?
We are left with no alternative but to continue to oppose this, but probably by other means.
Give us what people immediately are thinking. That means, what are you going to do? Are you going to put people in the way of trucks? What's going to happen?
There are a variety of options, and it is not my place to discuss those options here on live television.
Well, people will be. I mean, why not? I understand the reluctance, because this is the next step. Either it doesn't get the go-ahead, you'll be happy. If it doesn't get the go-ahead, the next step you're saying is some kind of physical protest.
Probably going to be direct action, because that's the only option we're left with. As I've said, we've been through all the democratic and legal processes. There is, in respect, with regard to this particular announcement that's being made today, there is a group being pulled together of legal experts who are going to launch a judicial review. I dare say that that's going to cause some delay, but if that fails, then the only option left to us is to stop this industry, is to take direct action.
What are you prepared to do personally?
I'll quote David Cameron, actually. I will do whatever it takes to stop this industry. I will do my best to ensure that that is peaceful and legal.
We appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Bob Dennett there, Fracking campaigner. 12 minutes to 9. Let's talk to Carol. Let's find out what's happening with